Walk into a supermarket and look at the wall of milk. Now, think about what is behind it. Most people picture a warehouse, pallets stacked to the ceiling, spare cartons in the dark, a quiet room holding everything the store has not put out yet. That room barely exists. Behind those plastic doors is usually a short corridor, a cardboard compactor, a few wheeled cages, and a lot of empty floor. What you can see on the shelf is very close to all there is. For the fastest moving fresh lines, milk, bread, bagged salad, chilled chicken, a busy store may be holding less than a day of sales. Some items are down to hours. So if the shelf is the warehouse, where is the food? It is moving. Right now, the food you will eat next week is in a chilled trailer, in a shipping container, in a ripening room, or still in the ground. The system does not store your groceries. It flows them toward you continuously and times the arrival so the shelf refills at roughly the same speed you empty it. That idea has a name, and its origin is stranger than you would expect. In the 1950s, a Toyota engineer named Taiichi Ono was trying to fix Japanese car manufacturing. Japan had no money to sit on huge piles of parts. Looking for a better model, Ono pointed at the American supermarket. A customer takes exactly what they need, exactly when they need it, and the shelf is refilled in exactly that amount. Nothing waits. Ono built that logic into what became the Toyota production system, known everywhere now as just-in-time, and it's spread out of car plants into almost every industry on Earth. Which means the supermarket taught the world the method, and the world sold it back. Follow a single item and you can watch it work. When a barcode passes over the scanner, that beep is not only a price lookup, it is a message. The store's inventory count drops by 1. When enough of those messages accumulate, a replenishment order is generated automatically and joins tonight's pick list at a regional distribution center, often before you have reached your car. Now, picture that distribution center. You would expect a lake of food. It is closer to a river. Modern grocery depots lean on a technique called cross-docking, where goods come in one side of the building, get sorted onto outbound trailers within hours, and leave from the other side without ever being put away. Storage is treated as a failure. Every hour a peach sits still is an hour of its shelf life spent on nothing. Because for fresh food, the clock is the enemy. A head of lettuce does not die when it is cut. It keeps breathing, burning through its own sugars, wilting from the inside. So it is field-cooled within hours of picking, and then handed from chilled room to chilled truck to chilled cabinet without ever warming up. That unbroken chain of cold is doing one job: slowing the vegetable's metabolism down so it ages more slowly than the truck can drive. Refrigeration is not really storage, it is borrowed time. So what happens when the flow stops? We have a serious answer, because someone studied it. The logistics researcher Alan McKinnon led work examining what would actually happen to Britain if road freight simply halted, published under the title Life Without Lorries. His conclusion was not that the country would slowly ration itself. It was that shortages would begin appearing at the front of the system almost immediately, because there is no reserve sitting behind the shelf to draw down. And we have a rehearsal, too. During the fuel protests of 2000, blockades at British refineries slowed the tankers slowed the trucks, and within a few days, shoppers were photographing bare shelves. Nothing had been destroyed, no crop had failed, only the movement had paused. Then the second mechanism kicks in, and it is us. The moment people see a gap, they buy more than usual. Demand spikes at the precise moment replenishment is weakest, so the shelf empties faster than the system can respond, which produces more gaps, which produces more buying. The shortage becomes self-feeding. Most empty shelves you have ever seen were not caused by a lack of food in the country. They were caused by a mismatch in timing. Yossi Sheffi, who studies supply chains at MIT, has spent his career on this exact tension. His argument, laid out in his work on resilient enterprises, is that a chain tuned purely for efficiency strips out the slack that used to absorb shocks, so rare disruptions hurt far more than their probability suggests. The response has not been to rebuild the old warehouses. It has been to map the network, find the single points that everything depends on, and build the ability to reroute quickly. Because here is the part that reframes the whole thing. The buffer did not disappear. It was dissolved and put into motion. The thousands of trailers on the motorway tonight, the containers stacked on the water, the pallets crossing a depot floor at 3 in the morning, together they are the warehouse. It simply has wheels, and it is spread across a continent instead of sitting behind a shop. That design gives you fresher food, lower prices, and far less waste than any system that came before it. The trade is that its strength lives in movement rather than in mass, and a system that stays alive by moving is only ever as safe as its ability to keep moving. So the next time you stand in front of that wall of milk, do not think about what is behind it. Think about what is coming toward it.